Howdy! Another year has come and gone in New Horizons, just a week or so, and the second anniversary will be here. So I thought it might be nice to look back over the last 2 years and all the updates that have come, especially for the first year. A lot of them I don't remember at this point. Just a little way to reminisce on how the game has evolved over its first 2 years. Also, apparently we're not going to get any more updates, so this is the end-all be-all history of New Horizons updates. I hope you enjoy, whether you're taking a walk down memory lane, or if you're just here to see what it was like for all us old geezers. Of course, the game starts out as version 1.0. This is just the version that comes on the cartridge when you get it without any other downloads. And surprisingly, the first update came before launch. On March 19th, 2020, version 1.1 came out. This is actually, surprisingly, when Bunny Day was actually added. All the things associated with it, such as Zipper Tea and all the items and the eggs appearing everywhere, just everything associated with Bunny Day. And then they also did some last minute tinkering of things, like all the item names used to be complete lowercase, but they uppercased the proper things to be uppercase. Makes me kind of wonder if that was like a last minute stylistic change, or if they were like, oh shoot, we never got to this, or what happened there. Then they decided to change save data settings to just settings in the title screen. And they also added the classic whatever reward you get for downloading the update. In this case, it was a Nintendo Switch or an Animal Crossing themed Nintendo Switch if you had the Animal Crossing New Horizons Joy-Cons. So update 1.1.1 released March 26th, and this will fix that furniture rotation glitch that people were using to spawn a bunch of things and sell them for a lot of money. They also enabled all those sweet Bunny Day features. Then just a week later, they were back with another update, 1.1.2, and this was just fixing a bunch of glitches. There was the glitched land plot where if you scan someone in with Amiibo and you read their sold sign, the text is missing and then no one ever moves in. Like, the plot is glitched forever as just reading sold, which not a good thing. There's also another problem with move-ins where Tom Nook just wouldn't have people move in even if there was an open plot on your island. Then there was the mystery tour tool price glitch where for some reason when you bought a tool from Wilbur, it would also cost you 800 bells on top of the 100 Nook miles. And then there was another glitch where if you deleted a file, you could no longer move any buildings on your island. Then there were some other smaller bugs that they fixed. And on top of all those glitch fixes, they reduced the frequency of Bunny Day balloons and water eggs. Players were really complaining about these because they're trying to catch a bunch of fish for money or to complete the museum, and they're just getting tons and tons of water eggs, or like they get excited by the sound of a balloon, only for it to be a Bunny Day balloon and be like, I don't want more eggs. So they toned all those down because people were getting a little annoyed. Then just a day later, there was update 1.13, where they fixed a glitch that caused balloons to stop spawning. So after you had 300 balloons, no more balloons were coming for you. And 3 days later was update 1.14. This fixed a glitch where if you gave Flick 3 scarab beetles, in return he just gave you a random model, and which is a problem because scarab beetles are worth 10,000 each, so if you sell up to Flick, 45,000 you're missing out on just to get something like a cockroach model. Yeah, definitely not a good deal. And on top of that, they readjusted the frequency of Bunny Day eggs all around. Okay, finally the next major update, and there is a lot in this. I didn't think there was that much, but there's a lot. A lot of small things. Update 1.2, also known as the Earth Day update, was released April 23rd, 2020. This added leaf and bushes to the game. People were hype about these bushes. And another great thing about Leaf is that he sold more varieties of flowers than what you could get in your island's nooks. So it's like, for me, he brought roses and it was so fantastic. Red and his treasure trolley was also added, along with a large array of artwork. And of course, if you have artwork, you need an art gallery. So there was the museum expansion. And it was actually kind of fun. Blathers put you on this quest. He was like, go find me a painting. And then once you brought the painting back, he was like, aha, I can now add this wing to our museum. If you've started Animal Crossing after this update, the wing is just automatically there. But if you were playing it back in the day, you had to go on this little quest for him. And Red actually gave you the piece of art. And then the next day, the treasure trawler would be there for you to buy art from. Then it added 4 kind of mini events. First, there was Nature Day, where there were a bunch of Nook Mile Plus requests relating to planting bushes and trees and flowers and things. I think they got rid of them in 2021, which makes sense because it's kind of dumb to force people to plant things. It's really not a daily thing at this point, but starting out, it made sense. And you also got the hedge from Nook, the DIY for the hedge, which they still include that these days. The second mini event was May Day, where you go to a labyrinth island and you have to work your way through the maze to Rover, and then Rover gave you a suitcase with stickers of his travels. Kind of cool, kind of dumb at the same time. After that, there was International Museum Day, which had a stamp rally. Basically, you would go throughout the museum, get stamps at different points, and then bring your stamp card back to Blathers, and he would trade it in for this lovely plaque. There were 3 different ones representing each part of the museum. Just a fun, small way to appreciate the museum a little more. Then there was wedding season. I don't know if I would call this one small because it goes on for a month. So Reese and Cyrus are over at Harvey's Island and you're there to take anniversary photos for them. You gotta stage their space. Luckily, they didn't really care how you did it. Like, you could just throw down a bunch of their wedding items and they would be like, oh, this is wonderful. And you could get the rewards. Okay. I'm going to try and list the rest of these off because they are small little things that tweak the game forever. Interest rates at the ABD were reduced from 0.5% to 0.05%. Basically nothing. Just silliness. Pure silliness. They added Isabel's and Timmy's and Tommy's Nook ink shirts to the Nook Miles machines. The download item for this was the world map and a belt bag rug from Nook Bank, which I think was to apologize for the fact that they were cutting your interest down by a lot. The Switch item was renamed to Light Switch as to not get people confused with the Nintendo Switch. And then minor typos here and there were fixed. They also messed around with bug spawning rates. One of the things they did is make a bug's rarity the same throughout all the months it was in. So classically throughout Animal Crossing, there'd be certain months where a bug was available, but maybe the first month they were available, they were a little more rare, and then their middle month they peaked, they were pretty common maybe, and then they became more rare the next month, their last month in your town. At New Horizons release, this was the case, but now they just made it a flat spawn rate across every month that bug is available. And then they also went to individual bugs and changed their appearance rates. Like the peacock butterfly went down from 30 to 5, decreased by 25%. When people ask how I made so much money starting out, I think I was just catching peacock butterflies like crazy, and now they're a lot less. The Emperor and Great Purple went from 10 to 5, Atlas Moth from 10 to 5, Banded Dragonfly from 10 to 7, Scarab Beetle from 5 to 3, Giant Stag down from 10 to 5, Rainbow Stag down from 10 to 7, Tarantula and Scorpion down from 6% to 2%. That makes sense. I had heard about the butterfly decrease and I visibly noticed it, but also the tarantula and scorpion. Like when you first started in the game, you saw them way more often. I always just thought it was because my island was empty before. Now that I had more stuff, they were spawning less, but they turned them down a little bit. Yeah, just a real bummer. If you played before this update, you can make a little more moolah faster from the bugs. And then they upped the dumb cheap bugs appearance rates. So Stink Bug went from 20 to 40, Tiger Beetle from 9 to 10 to 15, Horn Dynasty from 30 to 35. Oh, but they also upped Cherry Blossom Petals from 135% to 150. Which is kind of nice. It's fun to have way more floating around. Oh, ho, ho, ho. And then they also adjusted the Mystery Island tours. One of the saddest things, they got rid of the hybrid flower item. I only found it once, and it was all windflower hybrids. and it was beautiful and wonderful, but it was gone. And then they also got rid of the big fish combo hybrid island, which made them tweak all the island's appearance rates. Basically, all the really common ones went from 9% to 9.68%. Sister Fruit went from 9 to 10. And then all the really sweet mystery tours, the ones that I just hope and pray for, got decreased. Scorpion / Tarantula Island went from 2% to 1%. Big Fish went from 3 to 2. Finned Fish went from 1% to 0.5%. At this rate, it's better just to hunt on your own island than to bother with these islands, which is so sad. And then Golden Rock from 1% to 0.3%. And Money Rock Island went from 2% to 1%. So sad. And that was everything in the 1.2 update. Lots of stuff. Lots of like little background things that if you didn't hear anyone talk about, you maybe never knew, but are very interesting. So in 1.21, which was released May 21st, over a month later, they just did some minor glitch changes. And they also unlocked Wilbur's ability to buy items from the player and send items to the player's mailbox. From what I remember, I only used it once. Basically, so you had a way to get the items from Reese and Cyrus if your pockets were full that day. Okay, next up is 1.3, the summer update wave 1. This was pretty hype. This added diving, and with it deep sea creatures, and with those scallops there was Pascal. And with Pascal, actually, unlike all other games, it wasn't the Pirate series, but instead the Mermaid series and Pearls. Pascal decided to pass the hat over to Gulliver when it came to the pirate items. So we have a whole series of pirate items through him just by finding his communicator form. And the free special item for downloading the update was a snorkel mask to go with our very fashionable diving suits. Oh, this was a great change. So previous to this, they had Leaf, Sahara, and Kix guaranteed to visit every week, which meant other NPCs were less likely to visit, ones that you may want more, like Red. So they got rid of the requirement for them to visit every week. And they also bumped KK Slider to performing on Sundays if there was an event on Saturday, before they bumped him forward to Friday, which ate up one of your visiting NPC days and kind of annoyed you. And they tweaked Sahara's dialogue so that you wouldn't have to reopen the conversation with her every time you wanted to buy something. It really didn't make it that much easier, but I guess it was a little bit easier. They changed a couple items' names, Cake Dress to Wedding Dress, which is kind of sad because Cake Dress is a long-held Animal Crossing tradition. It's been around for at least 3 games. And they changed the writing chair, desk, and poster to the study chair, desk, and poster. A week later, they had their usual update to fix all the bugs that came with the last update. So 1.31, and this just fixed a couple bug fixes as always. A Zen Bridge obstruction glitch, and then wetsuits randomly wouldn't be for sale in the crannies. Hermit crabs appearing in odd places. I didn't ever see this one, but I really want to know what odd places those were, because I don't know about you, but when I'm walking late at night and I'm not looking for hermit crabs at all, that sudden pop out of the shell, like, it gets me. It scares me. I almost pee my pants every time. So I can only imagine, like, if this had happened to me, the crap that would have been scared out. Just walking through my town at night, I see a shell randomly, like, oh, I don't remember leaving that there, going to pick it up. We want to keep the town clean, and then pop, comes out of its shell and runs away. It would have freaked me out. Okay, and then there was also like a glitch where a dialogue bubble would pop up after speaking to villagers for a second. And that brings us to another real update, 1.4 summer update wave 2. I feel like this is when hype for updates started to die down. So just 4 months into the game. This one, released on July 30th, 2020, welcomed the new fireworks show. And of course, all the items associated with it. So you got your balloons in a variety of colors, your bubble blower, sparkler, fountain firework, tweeter, the fan, pinwheel, and your boppers. And the other big thing added with this update, besides the fireworks show, was Luna and dream addresses. Basically, anytime you laid on a bed in your house, you would fall into a deep sleep, wherein you could visit other people's islands. I believe when it first came out, and I may be wrong, but I believe when it first came out, you could only visit islands you have the code for. It was something like that. Things were a little more limited on who you could visit. One small player requested tweak they did with this one is that the Nook phone camera, you could turn off the guides around the edges by pressing the R stick. Previously, people were doing this with a glitch where I think you opened and closed it and opened it again really fast and then the border was gone. Something like that. So people were doing it with a glitch and then they went, oh, well, if people are enjoying this, let's just make it a thing, which I'm very grateful for. Another small thing, the funny glasses. Now the skin color around the eyes of the funny glasses matches the player's skin color, which is pretty cool. And the free item for this update was the fireworks show wall. This update is when they began adding new seasonal items for Nook shopping in updates. With the new Nook shopping seasonal items, they covered 4 seasonal events. On top of that, the King Tut mask was randomly added as a DIY you could get upon finding a gold nugget. I honestly don't know why they added it here, but okay, I guess. Another small change is that the custom design portal got an upgrade, and you could search by design name or type, and you could also create a list of favorite creators so you could see what they're uploading to the portal. Kind of nice, an easier way to shift through the incredible amount of patterns that are out there. And another huge part of this update, not really a content update, but something that was highly requested, highly demanded of players, is the ability to back up your Animal Crossing island. At the time, this only allowed you to recover your island if your Switch was broken or lost and you had to call customer support to help you get your island back. It's funny because having this come 4 months later seemed like way too long, but in the long term, it probably wasn't that big of a deal. I guess the problem was you never knew when it would come. And on to their seemingly obligatory bug patch. Once again, released a week later, version 1.41 fixed glitches where full-grown trees could have things other than fruit, which is cool. And then there was another small glitch where the shiny spot would disappear after a dream and you would just be able to harvest the bells, but the shiny effect would be gone. And then there was another small one where when you tried to hit a rock, it would just act like you were hitting air. And in fixing these very small glitches, they made another glitch where the sumo ring was still an item in game, but basically it was a nothing item. So it was an invisible space in your storage, and then if you placed it, it had a glitched appearance. So that's always fun. I don't even know how they touched it with everything else they did. I wonder if it was just accidentally. Our next update is, of course, 1.5, the fall update. This one released September 30th, 2020. This one, of course, added Halloween and everything that comes with it. All the wonderful spooky furniture and Jack and the trick-or-treating with villagers, everything related to Halloween. Candy, yum. Pumpkins, super cool. Being able to grow pumpkins, super cool. There were also 4 new eye colors and 4 new skin colors. These are like unnatural colors. And the 2 reactions, haunt and scare. So you could fit in with your villagers. The item this time around for this update was the ring con. And as a small tweak, something from the last update, they made it so you could see a list of dreams you've previously visited. That's super nice. This update also had some updates to Nook Link, the app on your phone, and it lets you look through your catalog on your phone. This was a game changer for me going through things because there's more ways to sort the items on your phone. Like you can sort by size and color. It makes things a lot easier when it's like, oh, I need like an item this size. What can I put there? It's really cool. And then of course, a week and actually a day later, so it took them 8 days this time to release their patch for glitches, the 1.51 update. These ones were really small. So there was an issue where some of the title keywords from Nook Miles wouldn't appear in your passport. And there was another one where for users playing in French, Spanish, German, Italian, Dutch, or Russian, sometimes they would get English text. There was one where animal residents, when given bamboo shoots, they would refer to it as a pumpkin, which is kind of funny. And then one where there was a problem like jumping over a river if there was certain furniture around a certain way that they tweaked. And with Halloween taken care of course, they needed to take care of the next 2 big updates, Turkey Day and Toy Day. So we have update 1.6, which is our winter update. And of course, this update came with everything associated with those holidays. Franklin and Jingle were added, the whole Turkey Day set added, along with all the little celebratory things you do. I guess not everything associated with Toy Day came with this update. The festive DIYs were already in game, so the things to make the trees and the illuminated series were already out. So instead of those, this update came out with a bunch of toys. Oh, I love these toys. So there was the dinosaur toy, dollhouse, kids' tents, mini circuit, pop-up book, puppy plushie, RC helicopter, tin robot. And then they also, of course, added the items you get from Jingle on Toy Day, which is the recipe for festive gift wrapping, gift pile, Toy Day sleigh, and the Toy Day stocking, along with the Jingle photo you get from the Toy Day stocking. This update had some fun, adding a bunch of new reactions. These are all the ones that you could see the villagers doing, so like sniffing flowers, working out, yoga, blah blah blah. So there was another tweak to dreaming, and now you can visit random dream destinations by selecting Surprise Me. 6 new hairstyles were added. These were ones more focused on minority hairstyles. I think things that were typically wigs in previous games. And the beloved expansion to storage from 1,600 to 2,400 items. And finally, they made well on their promise, be able to transfer your save data, which lets you either dump your entire island onto another Switch, or if you aren't the island representative, a single player can move from their original island to another island, which I think that's phenomenal. Something they should have had in previous games, because sometimes, you know, you start an island as a family and then someone gets way more into it than the rest of the family and they need their own space and they save up, and it's kind of nice that they can take some of their progress with them. Then we have a bunch of stuff added to Nook's shopping related to New Year's and the different New Year's celebrations around the world. Some other items they added that were seasonal but not seasonal Nook shopping were the falling snow wall. Oh, I didn't know that came with this update, but I love that item. That might be my favorite wallpaper. The festive rug and the summer shell rug. And the item you got for downloading this update is the Yule log. Oh, this is super cute. So if you link your Pocket Camp account, you can get a bunch of items that's been in game from the beginning, but they added the Pocket Camp phone case, so you can have the same phone case you have in Pocket Camp. And finally, we have a couple more items that were released as part of Toy Day. So there was a festive wreath to go on your door, and there are a bunch of items that came in the Able Sister shop. So reindeer costume, reindeer hat, Santa beard, coat, hat, pants. Pretty cool. I'm sure you've noticed a pattern. All these updates come out around holidays. So the next holiday to have an update for is, of course, Festival! As version 1.7, Pave was added to the game along with all the Festival furniture and all the things associated with Festival, including 4 new reactions that let you dance your little heart out. As per usual, they also added some new seasonal items for holidays, like the Bean Throwing Festival, which, I was so happy when they added this one because I remember watching footage in New Leaf of people celebrating it and being able to throw beans, and I was so jealous. So it was nice to finally have that in my life. And then there's also Valentine's Day, Groundhog's Day, and the Super Bowl. Not to be rude, I just didn't think the Super Bowl items were that cool. They should have done some like food plates or something. They also fixed an issue with the mermaid fence where for some reason Pascal wasn't giving you the recipe for it. I had assumed they randomly decided to add it in this update. Like they went, oh, let's do a fence for the mermaid series. Just like, in 2.0 they released fence for an ice series. But according to this, there was just a problem in the coding, and that's why we weren't getting that beloved mermaid fence. So it was there all along, just unreachable. And of course, in fitting with Festival, a pair of maracas is given out for downloading the update. Hey, no bugs for 2 updates that they needed to go back and fix later. What job, Nintendo? So, update 1.8 was the long-promised Super Mario 35th anniversary event. I think right after New Horizons was released, they were like, a year from now, we're putting in Mario items. So, it came, and along with it, the exciting teleportation abilities of the pipe. I will say, I think it's really dumb that they just added the items through Nook Shopping, that there's no way to earn them, because before they were like exclusive to Balloons and City Folk, or you got them from fortune cookies and I don't know, I feel like they've always been a little bit special and this makes them not. But whatever, you're this late in the game, you don't want to have something too grindy in order to acquire things. But it was a ton of items. It was 49 items, although most of them were clothes. A huge chunk of them was just the outfits for every character. Well, by that I mean Princess Peach, Wario, Mario, and Luigi. And of course, they also added some seasonal items for Nook Shopping. In this case, they had items for Pi Day, St. Patrick's Day, and Girls' Day, I believe. Update 1.9. This was the Sanrio update. So in America, they finally, 5 years after they did in Europe and Japan, released the Sanrio collaboration cards, amiibo cards, and you could scan these in and that let you unlock all the items with the Sanrio characters. Oh, along with the Sanrio characters themselves. Along with that, they made some tweaks to the custom design portal. This was actually pretty cool. So they added the Pro Editor Plus, which allowed you to customize the fans. Oh, I love those fans. Umbrellas, standees, like the little flags. And on top of that, you got 50 more spaces. 50 spaces. People complain that it's not enough, but it is a huge difference, especially going from New Leaf. Because I think back in New Leaf days, it was still only 10, right? Anyway, just awesome. Awesome having so many more spaces and all the new, the creativity that came with people having umbrellas and crap. The creativity was already cool with, the top hat designs and things that people did. This update also gave 4 new Bunny Day items, which more than the original set, and 4 new seasonal item sets for Nook Shopping. There was April Fool's with a whoopee cushion, there's prom season with a whole bunch of stuff, and there was a Korean one for planting trees where you got this yellow tree. I'm sorry, I don't know the name, and I'm not even gonna try to butcher it for you. And then Nature Day returned as a Nook Shopping thing where you just got a cool globe. Oh, and with the Nook Link thing that was mentioned a couple updates ago, they added some new features to it where you had Katrina and you could get a little fortune every day, which would give you a little points, and you could spend those points for new items in game. These were all Nook Inc. themed items. Also the photos of Isabelle Tommy and Tom Nook. Oh, and this was the update right before the first anniversary. So we got the first anniversary cake, which I actually ended up making, and I don't know if my life was already ruined or if it ruined my life, but it was a lot of work. So go check that video out after this. I tried my best. I've never decorated a cake before. It turned out okay, but I was too morning sick to even enjoy it. And that brings us to kind of lame updates. People were frustrated before when it turned from content updates to just holiday updates. And now we're getting into just keeping head above water updates kind of a thing. Unlocking previous events for the new year and maybe like doing a couple things to update them, but mostly just Nook shopping items continuing to be added for different holidays, minor holidays. So update 1.10. May Day, International Museum Day, and wedding season are unlocked for 2021 and disabled for 2020, so you can't go back. They also come out with a new maze for May Day, which if you completed the first one, this one gives you Rover's photo. International Museum Day just adds stamps and a plaque for the art exhibit, and a bunch of wedding items are added. Some of them are clothing that are wedding garb from Japanese culture, and in Nook shopping there's a bunch of stuff added. And then there's quite a few things added for seasonal Nook shopping, as always. There's stuff for Children's Day, there's stuff for the wonderful cheese rolling, a few more wedding items were added, and some cool foods for the Dragon Boat Festival. A ship wheel door decoration is added for Marine Day, which I wasn't sure what that was, so I just googled it, and it's a day in Japan to celebrate the sea and all its bounty, along with the importance of the ocean to Japan. That's really cool. And then this cute little cap is added in celebration of some sort of French holiday. Thank you, Frenchies, for this cute little cap. I hope that wasn't rude in any way. And then there's some modifications to the events from 2020. So Mother's Day gets carnations on top of the mug, and Father's Day gets the Thank You Dad apron. Let's make my husband that this year. He's a papa now. And they continue tweaking dream visits. Now you can exit a dream by pressing the minus button. Very nice. And they fixed a glitch where traveling 5 or more days into the past rerolls the NPCs for that week every single time. Update 1.11. This is another holiday tweaker. So for the fireworks show, they added a bunch of new items. This got me excited. I'm not sure, I kind of dropped out of like the social scene of Animal Crossing at the time, so I don't know how excited other people were. But they added boba, they added frozen treats, and they added cotton candy in all different flavors and colors, which is super fun. But I was mostly excited because going from New Year's, where you couldn't drink the sparkling cider, to now where you could drink the boba, I was like, okay, we are getting super close to update 2.0 and being able to have cooking and food and the roost, which requires being able to sip a cup of coffee. So this was very exciting. And as always, they had their seasonal events with their seasonal items from Nook shopping, and they added 4 more items for Halloween, all of which I love. I love the trick lamp and everything inside. That's so yeah, all of them were really great add-ons. And for some reason, this update, they messed around with some stuff, and we have the legendary glitch fixing update 1.11.1. One issue they fixed, the sorting for DIY recipes got messed up, so you couldn't sort by date obtained. And then for some reason, Harvest Island wasn't displaying certain items. And then, oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys remember this one, but they fixed the problem where Nook's Cranny wasn't playing its like winding down track 10 minutes before the shop closed. And like so many theories spawned out of that. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, this track disappeared. That means they were editing Nook's Cranny, which means there's gonna be an expansion. It's kind of funny to look back on. But no, they just probably added items to Nook's Cranny from the fireworks show, and that caused the track to get messed up or something. And then there was an issue with the clouds, where in some seasons they just won't appear. Kind of crazy. And that brings us to the finale of the update people waited so long for with bated breath. Update 2.0, released November 4th. They even released it 24 hours before they said they were going to release it. Crazy, right? And we're going to go through all these really fast because you're probably familiar with them. Brewster opened with his cafe along with a few items that he gives you at the cafe for drinking lots and lots of coffee. And also a bunch of characters were added with their models, old NPCs that don't have features in the game, but you can scan them into the roost and have a nice little chat with them. Harriet was added along with several new hairstyles, exclusive to her. Cap'n was added, and his secret deserted islands with all their mystery. Oh, and gyroids. Katrina was added with her fortune telling. Tortimer/Cornimer was added. Lottie, Nico, and Wardell were added, along with the DLC. That's part of 2.0, right? The whole Happy Home Paradise DLC, and the many, 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 many items that came with that. I think my favorite series, I can't say which is my favorite series because there's so many that were good. They unlocked seasonal events for every single year, so they wouldn't have to do this dumb unlocking year by year. And that includes the Nook shopping items. Island ordinances were added. Group stretching along with the items you get for group stretching. Harv's Island becomes a co-op that hosts many vendors. And now you can upgrade your storage for a heck ton of money. You can get it up to 5,000, double what it was before. KK Slideck! It's 12 new songs, and a lot of them are really good. KK Robot Synth is my favorite. I love it so much! Villagers can now visit the player's home. This is why I keep cockroaches in my house, because I don't want their dirty paws on my carpet. Ooh, I didn't know this one. When you go for a dream, you can type in a destination name. That's cool. They had that in New Leaf, so I'm glad they brought that back. You can now upload 200 designs to the custom design portal. Very fun. And Isabel stops being useless. Our girl tells us what vendor is coming to the island in her daily broadcast. Ooh, DIY recipes going into storage. Very nice, although now I'm hoarding DIY recipes like never before. And a bunch of new fun stuff from Nookstop. We can now have little island tips along the bottom of our screen. Oh, we unlocked cooking recipes. Like what? Oh, I love all the different little foods. It's so fun. I love it so much. Pro camera. I love the pro camera so much. I just love being like VR and being able to walk around in there. Custom Patterns Plus. This is when Sable's little patterns can now be used as clothing, which is nice. And the Pro Decorating License. Got things on my ceiling, and I got my accent walls. I asked for my accent walls in 10 things. Like, before New Horizons came out, I asked for this, and it has been given, and I am very pleased. More fences. Very cool, along with being able to customize fences. Oh my gosh, why wasn't this there at the beginning? Very fun. Can finally have my white picket fence. New reactions. I am not a reaction gal, so I don't care about these, but they're kind of cool. Pro construction license. More bridges, more inclines. It's good stuff. Although with the ladder now, and also just being like having land bridges, those don't matter as much now, but it's still good to have. And then on top of Harriet's hairstyles, there's more hairstyles and the storage shed. We love that. We love being able to access our storage when we're out and about. They also added some new villagers, 8 new villagers, and then they also brought back some villagers, 8 old villagers, of which Ace is a longtime favorite of mine. And interestingly enough, we have Rio in our GameCube town right now that I'm streaming over on Twitch. I like her better in GameCube. Okay, so that was 2.0. Tons of stuff. And there have been some small updates since then, fixing things. And I ignore all videos about updates at this point because a lot of them don't have much to say. So I don't know what any of this is. I'm kind of excited to get into it. Okay, so in update 2.0.1, there was an issue where the Kiki and Lala wand wasn't available in Nook Shopping. The coconut juice and frozen treat set wouldn't be in the MISC items. The Flowing River flooring did not work when placed horizontally in bigger houses. Some of your villagers would cook using something other than a kitchen item. Just imagining Zucker cooking something up on his hammock Man, I'm bummed I didn't run into that in the wild. And then there was also an issue where a villager visiting your house would talk like they were at the roost. Happy Home Paradise ones that were added. Oh, I have to add today. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. I was showing my mom the DLC and I was calling it DLC and she was like, I need to remember that. The DLC, the DLC, the DLC. And then I told her the actual name. I'm like, well, it's Happy Home Paradise. And she's like, okay, what is DLC then? Love you, Mom. She won't watch this. This is going to be way too long. She watches my crafting videos, though. Anyway, there was a problem where the game let you design houses when you should be designing the school. There was problems with the amiibo. Oh, apparently you could obtain limitless turnips from Joan at the hospital. That's interesting. And the sugarcane plant item would be unlocked by getting tomatoes. And then there was another one, 202. Taking a Captain trip, Brewster could overlap with you and prevent you from moving. Captain could stop singing his song, preventing the game from proceeding. Oh, another game stopper asking how does this work in the group stretching during multiplayer could stop the game. Apparently the poster for Orville and Wilbur would be available in Nook Shopping after inviting them to Photopea. Apparently you're only supposed to be able to get them if you scan their amiibo. Some items being on the pier at all would stop you from being able to talk to Captain. And the warp pipe could stop working just by asking a villager if you could buy one of their pieces of furniture. Another issue is that the group stretching music wouldn't play if there was a radio nearby playing, and some people were getting visit the roost for a coffee break multiple times in their Nook Miles Plus in one day. As for the DLC, there was a glitch where if the items in the school were a certain way, the whole entire software would just close when the player tried to bring Leaf to school. Another software closer is if you repeatedly used Amiibo at a finished home, bam, close your game. Also trying to use Amiibos multiple times to change who was in a facility. There was a smaller glitch where the photo of the client's home wouldn't disappear after talking to them on the beach. Oh, there was another issue where bells would be spent on top of Pokey when you ordered a present for another player on your island from Wardell. Another one is that the message card telling you that they were going to refund your miles for the pro decorating license when you get the DLC would be sent multiple times. I wonder how many times that was, because it was too, like, not really, I guess fix it for the future, but I wonder if people were getting like tons. And then if you did a roommate's house, they would not be in the little cutscene at the end if you ended designing their house in the yard. The current version, 2.04, the only bugs that they bothered fixing for this, they did an entire update for this, is that some of the villagers working in certain facilities would be naked. That's pretty freaking hilarious. Anyway, they fixed it. If that wasn't a good enough finale to reading out all the updates New Horizons has gotten since its release 2 years ago, I don't know what is. Naked villagers. It's a good time. Wow, that was an info dump. I did not expect this video to be so long. I didn't expect there to be so much to talk about. It was really fun seeing the ones that I had never really heard about. All the little glitches here and there. And also just remembering how everything came to us in what order and everything. This month, I'm dedicating all my videos to reminiscing about New Horizons, so go ahead and check out last week if you want to hear my ranking for all the New Horizons holidays, and come back next week for even more New Horizons fun. And I would love to know what update you were hyped the most about back in the day. I mean, update 2.0 was pretty hype, so maybe don't include that one. But I guess Halloween for me, I was pretty hyped about. I was ready for fall. Until next time, I hope you have the loveliest of lovely day. Bye bye.